I'll recall the meeting for the Village Board of Trustees, the Village of Depew. This is meeting number 16, November 25th, 2025. We're a little bit late. It's 7:05, and I'll have the pledge by Trustee Kraft.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just remain standing for a second. May we take a moment to pause, reflect, and connect with the spirit of peace and understanding that resides within each of us. Let us embrace the opportunity to come together in unity, open to the shared wisdom, compassion, and respect that guides us. May this gathering be a time of inspiration, collaboration, and growth. May the intentions we set today lead us toward positive actions and harmonious outcomes. Let us proceed with mindful hearts and a collective sense of purpose. Amen. Amen. Notification of fire exits.
The emergency exits are located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion and evacuate the building.
Need a roll call.
Trustee Moravsky.
Here.
Trustee Zimba.
Here.
Trustee Kraft.
here.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Here.
And Mayor Peterson.
Here. First item tonight is to approve the planning board meeting minutes from the November 6th, 2025 meeting.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like to make a motion and move for its adoption to approve the Planning Board meeting minutes November 6, 2025. Item 1, 94 Grant and 104 Grant Street approved for subdivision of parcel. Item 2, 2540 George Urban Boulevard approved special use permit to operate a cannabis dispensary with stipulations.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Next item tonight is accept the zoning board meeting minutes from November 13th, 2025.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, to make the following motion and move for its adoption. To accept the zoning board meeting minutes November 13th, 2025. Item number 1, 26 Jane Lane, approved to have portion of fence facing wrong way.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's been carried. So we'll go through the agenda items that are on tonight. We have, looks like we have 10, and including the first item tonight, which is a public hearing on the comprehensive plan for the Village of Depew, and it's also with the Village of Lancaster. Just a little background on that. Back in 2017, 2018, it was finalized in 2018, there was a comprehensive plan that was the town of Lancaster, the Village of Lancaster, and this portion of the Village of Depew. 5,000 of our 15,178 residents. So clearly 2/3 of the people that were in the Village of Depew weren't under a comprehensive plan. And then Mayor Ruda at the time asked whether or not, because the town of Lancaster was not going to join in on the process again at the 5-year mark, and Village of Lancaster was leading the way, and Mayor Ruda reached out to me, and I said, fine, as long as we include all 15,178 of the Village of Depew residents. So we now include the western portion of the village, and so we've been working with Kate from Labella, and I see Trustee Gavin is here from the Village of Lancaster. So a bunch of us had met for probably 18 months to 2 years, I think, maybe, pretty consistently, and hashed out an awful lot of things. And this is the printed version of it. Today, our first item is the public hearing on that, and Kate's going to give a presentation for those that are here. A number of board members and our attorney have been in various meetings over that time. And this is only one step with 4 more to go, as we have got that pointed out to us. And there'll be opportunity to make additional changes as well. But this is the first opportunity to present it to the public, and that's what we'll be doing first up today. Permission to sign the amended Phase 7 contract. Any details you want me to share with them?
Nope, just,
Okay, just an amended?
yep, we're
This is on
almost done with that phase.
Okay, and I think, Ken, you said that we're currently in what, almost all of the remaining 11, total 11?
They're all someplace.
Yeah, they're all at some portion along the path. There's light at the end of the tunnel on this consent order, so that's really good. Next item is permission to advertise for EMS and ambulance service. So this is a public hearing. It'll be at our December 8th meeting. Everyone knows the struggles with ambulance service, not only here in this portion of the state or in state together, in the country. There's an awful lot of places like that. We're currently under LVAC, but we don't have a contract with LVAC. We have a memorandum of understanding that they would cover needs of the village. And I know it's been Chief Musilak has pushed this, has championed the idea that, you know, our residents deserve better and should have a reliable source of EMS and ambulance service. So we're going to have a public hearing that day on the 8th, right here in the council chambers. We've been looking at it now for 8 months, 10 months maybe?
Yeah, roughly probably about 10 months. But yeah, we've been trying to get to this point, you know, from forming a committee to there, probably altogether, I bet you, a little bit over 2 years.
So we've been meeting with both chiefs, police and fire. Our OEM has been in there, Sam has been in there, Trustee Kraft has been in the meetings, Trustee Morosky has been in the meetings. Regina got to her first one the other day. So moving along, we'll have a public hearing on it so that others can hear what we're trying to do and offer their opinions. Next is a resolution for the HELPS program, hiring of emergency limited placement statewide. This is your baby.
So the state had rolled out this program, helped a while ago, and has just opened it up for the rest of the municipalities to use. It is a hiring system where individuals can be appointed to a non-competitive version of a competitive title, and gain a status, a permanent status without the exam upon completion of a probationary period. And then they would also then be placed back into a competitive class. So this is just a resolution allowing us to use these certain titles. There's only certain civil service titles that this HELPS program applies to, but if we have a vacancy or something in one of these titles, it allows us to hire this HELPS version as opposed to the traditional exam. So this is just allowing us, if we have any of those titles. to do
Currently,
that.
you told me there was a number of them.
The county has gotten approval from the state on numerous titles, and has a bunch more going to the state for review to be approved to be a HELPS title. If anybody does get appointed, they have to be specifically appointed under as the title HELPS. So if it does help with any of our positions, it would be appointed that way, and you would see that word HELPS. It's something that the county has, the state has given the county approval until I think June of 2026 to use these types of titles, and with the possibility that they think it may get extended more, but they're not sure. But as of right now, it could help if we have any vacancies in any of these titles. So we're just trying to get ahead of the game in case something comes up.
Again, for civil service, they don't always have the available testing in order to
Right.
backfill.
This is, while they're trying to kind of revamp civil service, this is just a way to kind of help put people in places while they're trying to revamp that system by the state.
State's being proactive. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Agenda item number 5 is permission for Depew Volunteer Fire Department. There's a number of items on here. There's for the Christmasville Parade on Saturday, the 29th, that's coming up. Various places that our engines will be stationed to help out with crowd control, as well as the number of vehicles. Chief, you have Car 9 with the boat, Engine 1, Squad 2, and the old antique engine. That one's a yearly winner usually, so they're going back for some more hardware, I bet. Central Hose is. Grant permission for Engine 6 and Rescue 7 to leave the village to deliver gifts to the children of firefighters with Santa that live outside the village boundaries on the morning of December 13th, 2025. I know Santa personally, and he would appreciate the passing of that.
Yeah.
Permission granted to the West End Fire Station for Saturday, the 20th, for their holiday party from 5 p.m. to midnight. Permission is granted to Southside Fire Station for Saturday, the 10th, for the Hook and Ladder Company annual holiday party on January 10th at the hall, 5 to 10:30. Permission granted to Southside for January 17th for the Cayuga Hose Company's holiday party and installation. Permission is granted to the West End Fire Station for Mayor Peterson to do a drive-through event for Toys for Tots. That's what we're doing up front here. That's right at the end of our collection. So we have a drive-through on George Urban Boulevard on that date. And permission for Northside for December 6th for the DVFD Annual Kids Christmas Party. That's 9 to noon. Resolution number 6. Permission to attend a conference for Code Enforcement Officer Kate Zaganachik to attend the Niagara Frontier Builders Association Education Conference, January 26, 2028. And that's just in Amherst. Permission for membership to the Depew Fire Department. Chief, I've got 2 people on here, one for the ladder company, one for Cayuga Hose.
Correct.
And the next resolution is that we have permission for membership to a junior firefighter program. And again, we have a member with Hook and Ladder and one at the West End. Resolution number 9, permission to sign Phase 9 arrangement. Again, this is with our DEC consent order. And the last resolution is resolution number 10. To authorize the mayor to source security camera system for our parks or any other item that we may deem that might need them. But we're looking at parks, and I imagine that this will be turned into an open discussion so that we can just get everybody's feelings on that out on the table. So other than the public hearing and the comprehensive plan, if anybody has any comments or concerns on agenda items 2 through 10, we'll take them at the podium and name and address, and we'll do the best to get you answers. Anybody online at all? This is tough because this is not our normal meeting night. This is Tuesday. Nope, they're all watching something else. All right, we're going to move ahead then. Item number 1, the public hearing on the comprehensive plan.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion that we open the public hearing for the comprehensive plan at 7:20 p.m.
Second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. And we'll turn it over to Ms. Kate. Oh, you got to read your
Yeah.
thing. Sorry.
Sorry. Be it resolved, the village administrator is hereby authorized to advertise for a public hearing to discuss the Village of Depew's comprehensive plan. There will be a presentation from Catherine Powers of Labella and Associates on this updated comprehensive plan. The public hearing will take place at 85 Manitou Street, Pew, New York, 14043 in the council chambers on November 25th, 2025.
All right. Welcome, Kate.
Great, thank you so much. Mayor Pearson already gave a great introduction, but my name is Kate Powers. I am a senior planner with Labella Associates, and like the mayor had said previously, over the last 18 months, 2 years, I've been working with the advisory committee made up of representatives from both the Village of Depew and the Village of Lancaster to work through an updated comprehensive plan. So tonight, going to be a broad overview. I tried to capture as much as possible in these slides. You also have a 130-page document in front of you. Can't, capture all of it, but I'm going to try my best. I'll first start out with the process, how we developed the plan, the vision and goals for the village, the future land use map. Comprehensive plan is a land use policy document, and then next steps in the process. So how the plan was developed. So for a comprehensive plan, for me, I break it up into, 3 different things. 1, where have we been / where are we now? Where do we want to go? And how do we get there? So where we've been and where we are now, that is our existing conditions report. And so that explored information and data related to housing, population, transit and transportation, infrastructure, etc. So sort of getting a baseline. Where is the village now? And then next of where do we want to go, in addition to taking that information and that analysis, from existing plans and policies as well as data, we engaged in community engagement, getting feedback from the public. And so we did that in a survey. I see actually there's still a poster from that I see over there. We had open houses. We had one in Lancaster and one in Depew. We had an advisory committee. They sort of were steering the ship the entire time, and as well as stakeholder interviews. So taking this information from the existing conditions report, plus hearing from the public, as well as from the advisory committee, the group developed draft goals. Where do we want to go, as well as strategies and actions, how to accomplish those goals, how to get where we want to go. And then we're sort of in this last step here, review, refinement, and board adoption. So this, you have the draft document in front of you, and it's available to the public. So any additional comments that individuals have, the idea is that this is an opportunity to receive additional feedback and make those adjustments to the document. So what we heard from residents. So some top Depew themes. We had individuals really loved and want to preserve the village's small town identity and neighborhood character, strengthen corridor vitality, especially Transit Road, Broadway, and Walden, improve walkability, so that has to do with accessibility and safety. So improve walkability, crossings, and neighborhood connectivity. Expand and enhance parks, recreational spaces, and community events. Provide housing options for seniors, young adults, and families, and support local businesses and encourage reinvestment in aging commercial areas. So, vision for the future. This is sort of the big picture. So, one, have a compact, walkable village with a real center. That was something that we saw in the feedback that we received of the people love the village, but they would like there to be sort of a hub that's associated with that. Revitalized business corridor that favors local investment. Individuals want to see, vacant storefronts full. They want to see investment in local entrepreneurship. Housing choice that fits Depew's scale and neighborhoods. Housing is sort of a widespread issue. in terms of aging housing, affordability, and lack of housing stock and supply. So that was something that we saw in the feedback that we received. Have safe, connected mobility for all ages and abilities, parks, public spaces, and community life as Depew's overall brand, a greener, more resilient Depew, and effective, coordinated local government. So this is the overall vision, and then taking this, the committee developed goals and strategies related to a variety of different subject matters. So the first I have here, oh, okay, I skipped ahead. So we divided up the goals for Depew and for Lancaster into different categories. And so we have preservation in progress. So goal number 1 being promoting smart growth and sustainable land use. Goal number 2, expand and improve parks, recreation, and public space. Goal 3, foster civic engagement and inclusive governance. Goal 4, expand housing options. Goal 5, enhance transportation and mobility for all residents. Goal 6, improve public transit and multimodal connectivity. Goal number 7, strengthen the local economy and support small businesses. Goal 8, cultivate a distinct local identity and tourism economy. Goal 9, protect natural resources and enhance sustainability. And goal 10, invest in resilient infrastructure. So this is a lot. It is a comprehensive plan. So it does try to touch on as much as possible in terms of the function and operation of the village. And so you have these overall goals, what you'd like to see in the village, and then from there, the committee developed strategies and action items to try to make these things a reality. So first we have housing. Here we have some of the feedback that we received. We got a lot of feedback about allowing accessible dwelling units, essentially like in-law apartments, and removing barriers to redevelopment. People wanted to see reinvestment in aging housing, as well as revitalization and investment in older neighborhoods as well. So some of the goals and action items related to housing. 1, evaluate zoning and identify barriers to housing development. Housing can be a really tricky issue because a lot of it is market-based. However, something that is within the control of the village is sort of setting the stage to allow for housing development when it comes. And so those could be things like permitted uses, those could be dimensional standards, like lot size or lot coverage, things like that. So essentially regulations that may make it difficult for individuals to come and develop in the village. Another thing, housing infill development near walkable areas. So infill development is important because obviously you don't have large tracts of land that are undeveloped that people can just come in and build housing on. It's more, the infill is fitting in the in-between spaces of what's existing. Adaptive reuse of older buildings. So this is something that is critical if you want to preserve historic architecture, or existing buildings, is to use that and rehab the inside. So you can maintain the architecture and it still fits in with the scale and character of the area, but the inside is modernized. Home repair programs for aging housing stock. So that can either be developing internal programs or that can be partnering with external entities. And then another item here, it's essentially trying to identify areas that potentially in the future could be redeveloped. And again, sort of, like I said, setting the stage so that potentially housing can be built there. Next, parks, trails, and public spaces. So individuals are very happy with current updates and services when it comes to recreation. Individuals highly value green spaces, and it really adds to the quality of life of residents and visitors alike. So some of the goals and strategies include greenway connections along Cayuga Creek, pocket park improvements and public art, accessibility upgrades, so Americans with Disability Act, so individuals of all ages and abilities are able to access these wonderful amenities, shade either through vegetation and trees or structures, seating and other improvements, as well as trail gap analysis and extensions, going back to that connection. Individuals highly value these trails not just for recreation, but also to be used as, or seen as an asset or a destination. Individuals can come to the village to access those things, as well as just everyday mobility. Next is transportation and mobility. So obviously safety and reliability of infrastructure is a large priority, and that, the roadways are safe for pedestrian, bicyclists, vehiclists, and all users. So some of the goals and strategies include adoption of access management and complete streets policies. Access management is very safety focused, so it is standards related to location of curb cuts and other transportation related design. And then complete streets policies have to do with activating and making the streetscape safer and a better experience for all individuals. So that can include, reducing lanes, that can include increased width in sidewalks, it can be better lighting, it can be landscaping. Additionally, we have connect sidewalk, trail, and bike infrastructure gaps. There's nothing more frustrating than when you're on a trail or on a bike and you're trying to go somewhere and then all of a sudden you reach the end and you're not able to continue on. Improve pedestrian infrastructure, evaluate parking needs, and identify current parking areas with wayfinding. Prioritize improvements along key corridors, the areas that have the most volume. And then continued collaboration with New York State DOT. So there are issues that are larger than the village, and one of those is roadway and that type of infrastructure. Bless you. Because certain roadways are under the jurisdiction of the county or the state. And so what's helpful for this document is that it lays out the priorities of the village so that when you're going and collaborating or providing input on future projects, that you already have those things laid out.
I push for that
Yes,
because
of course.
it's another 12 years before those bridges and transit road become 100-year projects. And I didn't want that this document would go out and this board didn't have the foresight to at least have that as being something we need to be cognizant of, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now that it's out to the public and to staff, that's also something that if there are other, either projects or problems that you'd like to be addressed with, this is going to be time to let us know so we can make sure that's in there before adoption. Next, we have economic development. Saw a lot of comments about adaptive reuse, so essentially reuse of existing structures. People want to see reinvestment in what's already here. Also prioritizing small businesses and supporting them. As well as, again, going back to the desire for a village center. And so one of the main goals for economic development for Depew is advance a Main Street vision for Depew. And that can include facade improvements, infill development, and mixed-use buildings that have commercial and residential. Some other items, developing a small business resource hub. So making it easy for entrepreneurs, make it easier for people who want to start businesses here, try to have all the resources in one place. Any approvals they might need, permitting, as well as connection to outside resources. Another thing that can really support the local economy is branding, wayfinding, and unified signage. Another item, integrating public art and additional cultural programming. And then lastly, inclusion in tourism promotions. So reaching out to these larger regional or even state organizations, letting them know what Depew has to offer, getting on those lists, getting on those websites so that individuals are aware of what they can come and see here. Sustainability and climate resilience. So we did see quite a few comments about flooding. Obviously there are some low-lying areas. Individuals want to see street trees. People want to preserve green space and modernize infrastructure and make sure that it has the capacity and reliability to support residents. So some of the goals and strategies include upgrading aging infrastructure, completing a 5-year capital improvement plan, prioritizing at-risk infrastructure, targeting flood risk areas with drainage improvements and mitigation projects, protecting riparian buffers, so essentially the land that's closest to streams, it's highly sensitive. It's very susceptible to things like erosion and it can affect water quality. Expanding green infrastructure, so trying to integrate some of these essentially stormwater mitigation measures on in our parks and public land, as well as prioritize the tree canopy, so things like street trees. One of the overarching items in the plan, land use and smart growth strategies. So some key strategies for Depew, reinforce core corridors and create a village center, reinvest in existing properties, focused investment where services, infrastructure, and transit already exist, avoid development in at-risk areas, evaluate redevelopment opportunities, and enable compatible infill. So like I said before, ensuring that if we want to see these spaces develop, that the regulations allow for it. And so as part of the document, like I mentioned before, it is a land use policy document. And so this is a future land use map. I will note, it looks like it's zoning. It is not zoning. This is not something that is enforceable in any sort of way. It's more something that shows the land uses that the village would like to see in the future. So you can see in yellow what we call traditional residential neighborhoods. So mostly single-family neighborhoods, and those areas, I think that the goal is to preserve community character as well as evaluate those areas and consider allowing things like in-law apartments or accessory dwelling units to allow for maybe some additional dwelling units that can help with the housing stock. We obviously have the purple area as employment and light industrial. We have the dark green areas as environmental conservation and greenway corridors. Those areas are a little bit more sensitive environmentally. To my knowledge, it's sort of around some of those areas that we see more of that flooding. As well as neighborhood mixed use along some of the major corridors. You see Transit, Broadway, and part of Walden. Red has Village Center mixed use. That's not on there yet. That is something that the village can explore further, because that needs a lot, that needs very specific, dedicated analysis and work done. So, obviously, we're not quite to adoption yet. We're opening this up for comments for the public review. But I thought I would just touch upon what board adoption enables. So one, the comprehensive plan, it provides a updated policy foundation for decision-making for the board. It strengthens eligibility for major grants. So that's something that I would suggest keeping in mind when you're going through the document and you have additions, revisions of if there's anything that you would like to see funded in the near future, to make sure that it's addressed somewhere in the plan. It goes a long way in your grant application narrative to say, we have an adopted plan that went through community feedback and an advisory committee, and it supports the project that the grant was for. It establishes priorities for capital planning and budgeting. It guides zoning and code updates. It can, like we mentioned before, improve coordination with the county and state and other entities. And also it supports informed review of development proposals. It's helpful when a special use permit comes in, or a site plan, or other applications, that you can point to this document and sort of judge the project against that of, okay, does this project align with the village's objectives and goals? So in terms of next steps, board review and comments, as well as, that should also say, public review as well. All comments will come to the board and will be integrated as the board sees fit. Next is seeker review, so environmental review, it being a type 1.
And your comment today is that both villages has to do theirs separately.
Yes, I believe so, because they're two separate legislative actions. You both have authority to adopt those things. So yes, there'll be two separate processes, and I'll provide that documentation for your review. Additionally, this will be referred to Erie County Planning. They sort of look at that on a larger scale, try to identify if there's any sort of cross-jurisdictional issues. Usually we don't see a ton of comments at the county level. And then finally, it's, once all those things have been completed, adoption via a public hearing from the board. And then after that is implementation of the plan. So in this document, it outlines all the action items, and it currently has short, medium, and long-term priorities. It is just a starting point. Obviously, those things change with resources that are available, capacity, et cetera. And, another important thing is aligning those priorities with budget cycle, grant cycles, and capital planning as well. So that is the end of my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Board members, any questions for Kate?
Kate, you said that this is gonna help us apply for grants, larger grants. Okay, I'm just curious, do we have a plan on how we're gonna split the cost for those applications? Are we gonna do those grants ourselves? Who are we gonna use?
So, this comprehensive plan, it doesn't go into
Okay.
specific that depth.
Right.
That is a decision
Fair
on
enough.
the village level.
Fair enough. And some of it seems a little contradictory to me, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I mean, we talk about utilizing the land at St. Martha's Church for housing, but then in the next step, we talk about using existing structures. So, it's a lot to take in.
Where that came from, Karen, is obviously a portion are there too for long-term. And that is, when they're looking to close down parishes, that is probably the largest tract of property in the village that could be in some form or another housing.
How can we do that? Can we put those houses right on, isn't it the plan to leave the school open at this time? Right?
Again, this is
Yeah, I know, I'm just
it's a
looking.
document that,
Imagine a hypothetical.
Yeah, right.
The school is closed. The village could take the parcel by eminent domain and request proposals for affordable housing developments or
I
other.
just want to be careful that we're not
Yeah.
looking
Well-
like we're wanting to close the school.
no.
No.
You know what I mean?
In a
But
or any available area.
But the other part about that, from the village's standpoint, would be if in fact it closes and it's up for sale, we'd like to have some say as to what that would turn into. That's all. Do we want apartments there? Do we want townhouses? Do we want patio homes? Or do we want single-family homes? At least it gives the overview that the village of Depew will want to have some sort of direction as to what that property. I don't want to see it close either, Darren. So.
I just,
Housing
optics is what
really
I'm concerned
unique
about.
and isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of situation. Even with accessory dwelling units, that probably works in a lot of areas in Lancaster, but in Depew, we have a lot of really, really small lots, and, we wouldn't want something where people think they can put an accessory dwelling unit, and then Don says there's no way these setbacks, would comply with anything anywhere because of your lot size. But there's other places where it's great. I know in Amherst, they have grant agreements if you're gonna put an elderly relative and wanna put a accessory dwelling unit. So it's not one size fits all, but housing is a need throughout Western New York and the country.
And a lot of the state grants, you've got to commit to, doing your share as far as creating more housing. We don't have many properties that could happen. We're pretty landlocked. But anyway.
I'll also note that, if I remember the language correctly, and obviously you all are going to review it as well, I believe it says something along the lines of evaluate zoning and consider these things. It doesn't say in there, we will do this. It's more, okay, these are some strategies to get to our goals and to evaluate them further. And it'll say things like, it'll say monitor sites. It won't say, develop this site as this, because we also don't want to put anyone in a box. We want it to be feasible, and the right fit at whenever that time comes.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody online?
Appreciate you coming out and doing this, for sure.
Yes, thanks.
Let it be
Okay.
done.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
I'll entertain, all right, I understand. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion that we close the public hearing on the comprehensive plan at 7:51 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Agenda item number 2, permission to sign the amended Phase 7 contract.
Honorable Mayor and Board Trustees, I'd like to make a motion to move for its adoption. Be resolved, the Village of Depew's Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to sign the amended Phase 7 contract between Nussbaumer and Clark, Inc. and the Village of Depew.
I second that.
A roll call vote, please.
Trustee Moravsky.
Yes.
Trustee Zimmer.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Agenda item number 3, authorize the administrator to advertise for a public hearing.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the village administrator is hereby authorized to advertise for a public hearing to discuss the possibility of the Village of Depew having its own EMS/ambulance service. The public hearing will take place on December 8, 2025 at 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, 14043 in the council chambers.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Agenda item number 4, HELPS program, hiring for emergency limited placement statewide.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas the Village of Depew Board of Trustees has the authority to manage the Village of Depew personnel efficiently and effectively in accordance with applicable laws, rules, and regulations, and collective bargaining agreements, including New York State civil service laws and the Erie County rules for the classified service. And whereas New York State Civil Service Commission has developed and the Erie County Personnel Department has adopted the New York State Helps (parentheses) hiring for emergency limited placement statewide close parentheses program, which allows for the inclusion of titles where qualified individuals may be appointed to a non-competitive version of a competitive title in order to gain permanent status without competitive examination, and upon completion of a necessary probationary term be placed in the competitive class without further exam. And whereas Erie County has recommended that the below resolved clause regarding the appointment process be approved to allow the Village of Depew to appropriately utilize the New York State Helps program in its most efficient form so as not to delay the ability of employees hired through the program to gain permanent status. Now, therefore, be it resolved that any individual appointed to this honorable body prior to or going forward, which is afforded the opportunity to utilize the New York State Helps program as approved and administered by the County of Erie, shall be, without further approval of this body, appropriately placed where possible into said program and upon completion of the minimum probationary term of the position and the requirements as outlined/approved by the Erie County Civil Service. Be afforded the rights of that of a competitive class appointment without further exam or approval by this body.
I'll second that motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Moravsky.
Yes.
Trustee Zimmer.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Agenda item number 5, permission for the Depew Volunteer Fire Department.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Permission is hereby granted to Car 9 with the Rescue Boat, Engine 1, Squad 2, and Antique 41, Old Engine 4, to participate in the annual Christmasville Parade on Saturday, November 29th, 2025, from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. in the Village of Lancaster, along with Engine 3 and Engine 6 standing by on the village borders to assist in covering any fire calls, and the Fire Police Squad assisting with traffic control for the parade. Permission is hereby granted to Engine 6 and Rescue 7 to leave the village to deliver gifts to the children of firefighters with Santa that live outside the village boundaries on the morning of Saturday, December 13th, 2025. Permission is hereby granted to West End Fire Station on Saturday, December 20th, 2025, for the West End Company's holiday party from 5 p.m. till midnight. Permission is hereby granted to Southside Fire Station on Saturday, January 10th, for Hook and Ladder Company No. 1's annual holiday party on Saturday, January 10th, 2026, from 5 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Permission is hereby granted to the Southside Fire Station on Saturday, January 17th, 2026, for Cayuga Hose Company's annual holiday party and company installation party from 5 p.m. until midnight. Permission is hereby granted to West End Fire Station on Saturday, December 6th, 2025, for Mayor Peterson to have a drive-through event for Toys for Tots from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Permission is hereby granted to the Northside Fire Station on Saturday, December 6th, 2025, for the Depew Fire Department's annual Kids Christmas Party from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion is carried. Agenda item number 6, permission to attend a conference.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, permission is hereby granted to Code Enforcement Officer Catherine Zagranichuk to attend the Niagara Frontier Building Officials Education Conference on January 26th through the 28th, 2026, to be held at the Buffalo Niagara Marriott, 1340 Millersport Highway, Amherst, New York, 14221. Use of a village vehicle is authorized.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Agenda item number 7, permission for membership to the Depew Volunteer Fire Department.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, membership is hereby granted to the following in the Depew Volunteer Fire Department pending the passing of their physicals. Hook and Ladder Company No. 1, Ethan Hernandez, and from Cayuga Hose, Brian Nickpon.
I second the motion.
The roll call vote, please.
Trustee Borowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Agenda item number 8, permission for membership to the Depew Volunteer Fire Department, the Junior Firefighter Program.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I'd like to make a motion to move for its adoption. Be it resolved, membership is hereby granted to the following in the Depew Volunteer Fire Department Junior Firefighters Program, pending the passing of their physicals. Junior Firefighters, Hook and Ladder Company No. 1, Hudson Rogacki, West End Engine No. 6, Jaden Pelkey Fry.
I second the motion.
And a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Borowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Agenda item number 9, permission to sign a Phase 9 arrangement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the Village of Depew Mayor Kevin J. Peterson is authorized to sign the Sewer Phase 9 EFC CWSRF project number C9-6684-04-03, Bound Council Services and Billing Arrangements for parentheses sewer system capital improvements, close parentheses.
I second that.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Borowski.
Yes.
Trustee Zimba.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Adolph.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Agenda item number 10, authorize the mayor to source security camera systems. So we're going to do something a little bit different here. I don't know, other than somebody who's going to make a motion to put this on the floor. I'd like to open it up to the trustees and anybody else that's on the board here that might have an opinion and want to get it out onto the floor. And then we'll see where it goes, see whether or not this actually happens. So just a little bit of background for those that might be watching for the first time. The Village of Depew, just like a lot of other municipals in the county in particular that I come to talk with, that we all come to talk with, there's been an increase in vandalism. A lot of times it's in the parks. Parks, sometimes there's an awful lot of time that there's nobody overseeing the parks. Our police force might not be able to be there all the time. And some people get a little bit carried away with doing things they shouldn't be doing, let's just say. We've had various issues in Fireman's Park, where at this point we've put in over $2.1 million worth of improvements over the last couple of years. And we do have cameras on the building, but they're not necessarily of high enough quality to be able to make pinpoint analysis. That gets fed back to our dispatch office. I know Regina and I have access to the camera videos that's on there. Our other parks, such as West Dawson Park, which saw upwards of $200,000 improvements a couple of years back, has no security whatsoever there. There's no real lighting, perhaps. It's smack in the middle of a neighborhood, real close to a house that's next door. There we've had a couple of the picnic tables that cost us about $1,300. They've been vandalized and destroyed. Our DPW crew is working to fix that. We've had the one concrete building there that was originally used as a shelter when we would staff it with employees during the summertime for the kids. That's been broken into, not that there's anything of high value in there, but it's just one of those things. There was vandalized recently with graffiti and such. That's another one. We have a community development block grant application that's being evaluated currently for a little over $200,000 on a park that's just across the tracks here in the Main Street, St. James area. A couple $100,000 into that. And if you look at right now, you can tell that it's been vandalized over the years. And graffiti and such is written on the concrete. It's written on the gazebo that's there. It's written on the slides and monkey bars or whatever that's over there. So what I'm asking for in this agenda item is the ability to do some research with security company to see what they could offer us and what the cost might be. It's exploratory. So I'm going to shut up now. You know where my feelings are, and I know that when I talk to whoever ran to be up on this board, it's not my way or the highway, okay? I've never told you that when I first talked to you about running for the position of trustee. It's always been my goal is that anybody that takes this job, does it for the right reasons, and you use your own thinking to come to conclusions as to what we might do. The only thing I've ever asked, and this is even long before I was mayor, is that if you have a problem with something, give me a solution, and then tell me how that solution is going to work, and then we will consider that. My solution is something that you see everywhere around your neighborhoods. You see it at Home Depot when you go to get a gallon of paint in the parking lot. You see it at almost every major traffic intersection that there is. There's cameras up there. You see it in the hallway out here that go back to our dispatch. You see it in the parking lots at this building. It's just another way. So I'm going to open it up to our trustees. Offer your opinions. We'll put it right out there, and then we'll see if we have a second, and if not, then, may need to be tabled. But I'll open it up. I'll shut up. Who wants to go first?
Bob, do you have to?
I think he wants us to discuss.
Well, no, right now we're just in the opening. This is a little off, not the way we normally do it. Normally, I have two people that are motion and second, and this is not the case that I have right now.
For the purpose of just order, we're having discussion on the motion on the floor. So you vote essentially open discussion without a second.
Right.
I think that's okay.
You think it's okay?
You might need a second before you do that, but discussion's open.
Yeah, we're just discussing the
This
resolution.
is a public meeting, it's a public forum. Let's get everybody's opinions out on the table and see whether or not we can move forward with agenda item number 10.
All right, I'm gonna start, okay?
Sure.
First, I
Thank you.
want to say I respect the opinion of everybody on this board, okay? I do. Second, I want to say I do not want any resident thinking I am not willing to spend funds to keep them safe. I supported a budget with a large increase. I stand by it. Increasing the expenditures in almost every department in order to help keep our residents safe. We've recently come up with a plan to get new equipment in here to help keep our residents safe. So I don't want the opinion. I'm opposed to this, and I'm going to state a number of reasons why I'm opposed, because this resolution doesn't call for how many cameras we're going to put in every park, okay? I'm sure that these other parks, you're right, they have them in other municipalities. Do they cover every square foot? What is our plan for coverage with these cameras? I do not know where the funds are going to come from for these cameras. We say we have them, I'm sure we can find them, but I don't know where they're coming from yet. Use, I would like to see discussions and a plan in place for use. I don't think our families want to go to the park and have a picnic and be under video surveillance like it's an encampment. I want to be careful with that, okay? Maybe dusk to dawn use to help with the vandalism problem, but I don't think we need to have people monitoring cameras. If something should happen during the day where we need to go to the cameras, I get that, but I don't think that we need to. I think they're intrusive. I could go on and on. I am going to vote to oppose this resolution tonight. Thanks.
Okay, just one comment there is that it says to protect the investments that the village has made to upgrade in village properties. So I'm not interested in, personally, I'm not interested in, let's say, the soccer field at Fireman's Park. And we've not made a big turf investment or anything like that, or stands, or, but that's it. I'll open it to anybody else. Andrew?
Yeah, I'll talk on it. This is a tricky one for sure. I'm not fully in agreement with cameras per se. To me, the park system should be one of the last kind of sacred places in a way where we can escape the scrutiny or the watchful eye. I don't want to move to a surveillance state. I don't find a good reason that because other people have cameras, we should have cameras. I understand protecting investments. I think this might be worth investigating more, but I align with Darren and we don't have set parameters. I did present an idea of potentially a neighborhood watch group. I don't know how that would work either, or the volunteer base and how we would construct that. I do see both sides of the coin here. Again, also, funding was tight this year for our budget, so there is the cost aspect for sure. I think it might be worth allowing the mayor to run with this and bring back solutions, quotes, prices, companies, and their plans and solutions, not just allowing cameras to go up without a set of overview of them. We do have a fine police department here, and if they have access to it, that'd be one thing, but being able to ensure that it's kept in-house in the village and not put on a major server. That was another problem for me with previous cameras that were presented. Is AWS owned the servers that the footage was going on, and so having the footage in-house is a different parameters I'd look for in that. So definitely see both sides of this. Definitely, I think, needs more discussion, and this might be a way to proceed from there.
So it's definitely just, there's no expenditures here, it's just getting quotes and to have you evaluate it from there as to what trustee Zimba's saying, the guidelines, you're also saying that. Could you provide me with your solution as to how that might look, how that might work? Let's say just even take West Dawson and Fireman's Park, if you were to give me, how would that solution in your thing work? That's, I don't need the answer today, but, you know, I'd like to see something like that, and then we can evaluate that as well.
Yeah, but I also don't have the, you know, the per capita of cameras per people or cost per camera yet, so I don't know if we can weigh that against it.
Are you saying you should discuss it and effectively seconding the motion to have discussion, though?
Potentially, yes.
So you got your second, maybe.
I told the mayor in pre-board I was willing to further the discussion in that front. I don't have prices in front of me, so, you know, I don't have the company names or you know, their ethics or their better business.
We don't have them, so I
Yeah,
don't.
so I
give them to you.
can't further the discussion. I was only able to speak on previous cameras that were presented to me because I was able to look into, you know, such things as where their systems were being held and such. So.
Okay. All right. Trustee Morosky, anything?
No, not, I suggest we do the research, get the information, and that's as far as we can go for right now.
Okay.
Get the facts.
And I don't want to leave you out. Trustee Kraft, anything?
This specific resolution, I wouldn't mind going ahead with. To echo Darren and Andrew, I'm a little hesitant on the cameras. We would need to look at the quality. You know, we've talked before, we have cameras up already, and it's been said the quality of the cameras is not helpful in, like, identifying,
Meaningful
like,
engagement.
who is responsible for any of this.
No, that's not 100%. I mean, we have been able to view them and being able to identify kids that are hang out at the park pretty regularly by clothing and stuff. I can't get a facial necessarily, but
Right, but you could change your clothes. You just got lucky that one time that the kid wore the same stuff the next day when you saw him.
we also did look too for that one potential accident incident
Yeah.
with a renter at the pavilion in one of our vehicles, and we were able to narrow it down to, it was painstaking, but we were able to narrow it down to 11:42 a.m. on that particular Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was.
We seem to constantly be talking about this and just having like 5-minute quick conversations. Would it not be more beneficial, like we did with ambulance and EMS, to make some sort of a committee and put our heads together for an hour versus like, oh, hey, what did you think about this? And,
I mean, a public hearing.
right.
Well, that's fine too, but I mean, you, like to
No,
Darren's
to-
point,
A committee, like an
like
EMS
how-
committee, but a
Safety committee.
a park safety committee, I believe.
I think we're getting nowhere talking about this for 5 minutes over an email or in pre-board versus,
we've been discussing it for months, and anybody could grab my ear at any time. So I don't feel that's necessarily 100% valid. But I'll take it at that, and, you know, if you want to have the public involved with it too, but I think Darren mentioned, he wants to know the dollars, he wants to know what type of cameras, you want to know how long it would be and who the companies might be. So my goal would be to produce for you 3 or 4 different companies with different qualifications and what different kind of solutions that they could offer. And in the meantime, if you have something other than cameras, I'm all ears.
Well, I think, not to interrupt, I think that's what Janelle's proposing is, like, the EMS committee had the separate.
It's another committee, that's all I'm saying, it's another committee, another commitment.
Right,
So-
but possibly bring in people that it might, like, the rec director, things like that. Just a-
Yeah, I think
that's-
having him
that's
involved.
Offer me a solution afterwards if this is what, aside from this, but if we've heard from everybody else here. I had trustee Morosky as opening it. If we get through the resolution, if anybody seconds it, fine, we'll take a vote and then go from there. So, fine? All right, so this is agenda item number 10, authorize the mayor to source security camera system.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved that Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to research and solicit price quotes for security cameras and systems to assist the village in protecting its facilities in Fireman's Park, the all-inclusive playground park known as West Dawson Playground, and any other future parks or village-owned properties in which taxpayer funds are used to make these upgrades or improvements.
I will second the motion, holding the mayor to that he said he'll collect 3 to 4 quotes and companies to produce before the board to evaluate.
Need a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Morosky,
Yes.
trustee Zimba.
No,
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
deputy mayor Adolph,
Yes.
Mayor Peterson,
Yes,
and that's carried.
thank you very much. Item 11, employment applications were received at the Rec Department. Avery Swiderski, Cole Craigblum, Jaden Schaefer, Howard Rice, and John Huey IV. Item number 12, department head reports. This is the police from October 2025 and building April, October 25.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion that we accept the department head reports from the Police Department, October 2025, and Building Department, April through October 2025.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Any unfinished or other business? Seeing there's none. Public comments and concerns. I have our guests here, I don't know, Paul Pfeiffer from the Assembly Patrick Placzynski's office, if you have anything.
You know, Mayor, just a couple things that the Assemblyman asked me to share. The last meeting that we were here, we talked about some of his efforts to work to legislatively repeal different components of the CLCPA and concerns about the expense and the mandates and the strain on the grid and those types of things. Recently, the administration agreed to take a pause on the implementation of the All Electric Buildings Act, which was supposed to go into effect on January 1st. There's been court cases that were filed, that they're currently on appeal, and we and some of those folks who were concerned about the CLCPA, we believe that a lot of the concerns that we've been raising for the last year and a half are starting to resonate with the governor, and the governor's attorneys are now saying, yeah, you guys are right, maybe we should just slow down on this for a little bit until we get a better handle on what the cost might be, how the implementation would occur, and what would the impact would be on the grid and some of those things. So the agreement on the pause is only until there's a ruling on the appeal, but at least it's a step in the right direction, so we hope. So to get a better assessment of that. Along those lines, the Assemblyman was in Washington, D.C. last week with a number of members of the Minority Conference, having meetings with cabinet officials and representatives of those departments. One of them was the Secretary of Energy, who added his voice to the concerns about the direction that some of New York State's energy policy appears to be going in. Congressman Langworthy has introduced legislation that I believe is being referred to as the Energy Choice Act, which essentially would ban any state or local government from banning certain various sources of energy, and some of that is based upon, making sure that there's some diversity that accompanies some of the climate protection goals. That's recently been passed through the Energy Subcommittee, so we'll see where that goes in terms of, future direction there. You also had an opportunity to meet with the Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs, who had a lot of insight and information on programs that they're looking to advance. There's a lot of younger veterans today that are going through a lot of different, stresses and PTSD and things of that nature, but they don't reach out and they don't engage in the various veterans posts and VFW posts and Legion posts like veterans did in the past. And so they're looking at different potential mobile applications that, would provide a lot of valuable resources right at, the end of your fingertips. And they could be used not just for veterans, but for first responders, police, fire, emergency personnel. So that was very interesting. And if you folks have an opportunity to read the Assemblyman's column in the various Bs, Chief Tobacco Lancaster B this week, you'll see where he's enumerated some veterans pieces of legislation that he's co-sponsoring that would help accomplish some of these things. He also announced the launch of what he's referring to as his Hometown Heroes program. Last Thursday, we had the opportunity to meet with Post 1528 upstairs, thank them for their service, and talk about the program. There is a form and an application that we've shared with all the various legions and VFWs. Any person who served, was honorably discharged, it could be a current service member, it could be a veteran. We have deceased veterans who, died in battle. We have Purple Heart winners, things of that nature. And there are opportunities where an appropriate designation of a state overpass, a state bridge, a section of state road could be designated as a highway or bridge in memory of those individuals. So that program just kicked off, and he's looking at, we've been reaching out to the various 5 veterans have already been identified, but we know that there are more that have served and would be worthy of such a recognition. So we've been spreading the word through the various Legion posts and VFW posts. And the last thing that he asked me to share was he was incredibly impressed with the quality of the tree lighting ceremony that you folks had last night. Number one, thank God you didn't have the rain like you got tonight, but the children with the carols, the fire engines coming through with Santa, the countdown. I think for him, that emphasized a lot of what Kate mentioned in her program about that sense of community here in the village. And he just thought the turnout was outstanding. He said there had to be over 100 people that were there. He thought you guys did it first class, and he appreciated the opportunity to be there, and he just wanted me to commend you folks and say what a great job you did. And he thinks you guys have a knack for re-emphasizing that notion of community with events like that. So congratulations to you folks.
Thank you very much, and we really appreciate him being at our events. Thank you. We have a guest from Village of Lancaster, new trustee, Gavin O'Brien. Anything you want to add?
I would just say thank you for the collaborative effort into putting together the joint comprehensive plan. I think, reading through it, there are some parts where you see how our villages are incredibly similar. So you're reading this, like this is applied to Lancaster or Depew, and honestly, it doesn't matter. We'll continue to work together to achieve a lot of the goals set out in the plan, and we'll celebrate each other's successes as we go along the way. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with all of you as we implement it. I want to invite you to come out to the Village of Lancaster this weekend. On Friday, we're having our own tree lighting ceremony at the corner of Central Avenue and Broadway. There's going to be music, reindeer, I guess, hot chocolate, hot dogs, all the stuff. And then, of course, we have the fire truck parade on Saturday, which is always a great time. Hopefully, not quite as snowy as last year because it was hard to see the fire trucks at times. But we're getting some snow, so stay safe on the holidays if you're traveling. And good luck to all of you here. And thank you.
So I know I reached out to Mayor Schroeder. How did you get that tree to stand straight up? What is it, a concrete box or something it goes into?
It's in the manhole.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's in the sewer. Yeah, it's propped up in the sewer. It's something that the DPW figured out years ago, and it's worked great ever since. It's a
Go
beautiful
dry.
this year.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Trees are always donated by residents, and whoever stepped up and decided they wanted to remove the street from their property. I wonder why, because it's nearly perfect.
Right.
I did get a sneak preview of it fully lit,
Yeah.
and it is incredible. Our DPW did an immaculate job.
Yeah.
So,
So
if you're free on
it's
Friday evening, come out.
a manhole, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Interesting.
They have the storm sewer.
Now you know what you gotta do.
Right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I know that.
Thank you, trustee. All right, we'll go around our group here. Ken from DPW?
All right, we are still picking up leaves, and we will be continuing to pick up leaves until weather permitting. You do not need, please, you do not need to call for leaf pickup. We will be there until we can't be there. And we're getting ready for snow, if there is any, like he said, and that's about it.
Perfect. Don?
Okay, a couple of new businesses. Whole Cow Burgers has applied. They're going to be going into the old Tim Hortons on the corner of Dick and Broadway. We've got a NP Packing Moving Specialists. They just applied. They are in the Hector's Hardware parking lot in the buildings there. We got a new house of worship called God's True House of Prayer going at the corner of Transit and Terrace. And soon a 19 Coffee will be going into the Herbal IQ, their new location on Transit Road.
Coffee.
And that's about it. Obviously, we're at the end of the season. Please pick up your, whatever you got left over laying around in your yard and things like that, and clean your properties up and store everything away to get ready for winter. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Chief McNamara down in our police department?
Just the October report, we handled 1,700 calls this in the month of October. 108 of those were criminal complaints. One stolen vehicle, and we did recover that locally. We had a total of 45 accidents. 3 of them were injury accidents. And we arrested 44 adults, 31 males, and 2 juveniles. 362 summonses issued this past month.
Very good. Other side of the table, Fire Chief Brian Muslak?
Good evening, everyone. Since our last meeting, the fire department has had 19 calls, which brings us to 384 year-to-date. As you've seen, there was a resolution passed today for a public hearing to advertise for public hearing for possible EMS and ambulance service in the village of Depew. Something that I've advocated for probably the last 3 or 4 years. I'm graciously thankful that the mayor and the board and administrator allowed us to start this committee, which some of the board members were a part of course. And I will say that this committee has done their due diligence, and we've left no stone unturned in this process. And I think that, we're thinking a little bit outside the box and a little bit of leap of faith, but I think that, if this works out, it could greatly improve the services that we provide to our residents in their need of time of an emergency, which is very important to me and near and dear to my heart, as it is to the board and all of our other first responders in the village. So, more to come on that in the future here. Again, tree lighting was awesome yesterday. Village always does a great job, and all the departments worked well together in that process. Come out and see the fire department in the Christmasville parade. I actually believe that the police also have a car in the parade this year, because I think they're going to be using our one of our fire stations to decorate it in.
Competition is usually Cheektowaga, right? Don't they usually,
Yeah.
they usually have a winner?
Yeah, Lieutenant Menard reached out to see if they could use one of the fire stations to help to decorate it. So, with the bad weather coming up here, so-called bad weather. Here again, I'd like to congratulate our 2 new members, Ethan Hernandez and Brian Nickpon, and welcome to the Depew Fire Department. Once they go through their basic training and their onboarding, that's 2 more firefighters that will serve the residents of the village of Depew in their time of need, along with our 2 new junior firefighters, Hudson Rogacki and Jaden Pelkey Fry. I hate to remember that name there. Our junior program's fantastic. We currently have probably 32 of our active firefighters that came from that program. I myself came from that program, and I've been in the fire department for 33 years, and I made it all the way to chief. So, good program. I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Adolph for finding us a tree in the park to dedicate last night in honor of all members that have served in the Depew Fire Department, served the residents of the village over the years, past, present, and future, which is near our firefighter memorial. And last but not least, I'm happy to announce that legislator Frank Dodaro's office reached out to myself this week and awarded us $7,500 to restore our firefighters memorial at the Fireman's Park, which last time it had any significant work done, it was about 20 years ago, and it is in some need of upgrades. So we're very thankful for legislator Dodaro's office being able to secure those funds for us. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. With that being said, some Brian's bits here, right? The Thanksgiving holiday, we always have an increase in calls, mostly cooking-related calls for the holiday. Make sure your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors are working properly. And also, if we get the snow that they're calling for, make sure your vents are clear. And also that if you have a hydrant close to on your street, close to your residence, that we keep those hydrants clear as well, so that in case of emergency, we don't have to shovel out the hydrants when we pull up with the fire truck. Other than that, like I said, everybody happy Thanksgiving, and thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Attorney Sam Allen?
Not much from me. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving, and I want to thank the village staff and volunteers for putting on an excellent tree lighting. It's a great ceremony.
Thank you. And Administrator Gronkowski?
Yeah, just wanted to thank everybody for their assistance with the tree lighting. Our special guests of Santa and Mrs. Claus coming in, and the Depew Wandering Wildcat book program for having all those great free books. The Depew Volunteer Fire Department Ladies Auxiliary with their help with the cookies and the hot chocolate. Wegmans and Tops for donating the cookies to hand out. Our recreation staff helping to get everything set up. The electrical department with all of their amazing work to get that beautiful tree lit. And our DPW for help with blocking the roads, and just everybody's assistance that day. And it's a beautiful community event, and we all really work as a community together to create these events. And if I missed somebody, I apologize, but I just appreciate the choir, the Depew High School choir for coming. And yeah, it was just
Rec staff, yeah. Everybody.
Yeah, it was a great event.
Very good.
And we couldn't do it without everybody's help, so.
Trustee Kraft?
To echo Regina, the firefighters get a lot of credit for last night, but you can't forget those ladies. The hot chocolate was apparently on point.
Top notch, huh?
Yeah, Brian had like 3 cups.
If I'm not mistaken,
Kathy.
you can thank Kathy Gary,
Kathy made
because
that
she
hot
made
chocolate.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yeah.
terrific, awesome hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get the recipe for Brian.
Swiss Miss.
No, there was something different about it because we have Swiss Mix.
Oh.
There was something different. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and to reiterate my point last week, make sure you go out on Small Business Saturday, support our local businesses, and that's it.
Okay. The other side, Trustee Z?
Good evening. Happy Thanksgiving to all our residents. Last week, we had a meeting for the county northeast south towns home hazardous waste management group, and I was appointed to the secretary position of that group. So I got 2 rather large booklets I gotta go through them. It's gonna take me for a while, but I got them dropped on me this week, so I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into that. That's it. Hey, how come we don't make these guys come up to the podium?
They're coming up.
No, them 2 guys. They get to talk from the chair. What the heck was that?
So I didn't, I don't know.
They speak loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
We'll come up next time.
The camera does go this way too, Paul. So you get the back of your head and the front too. Trustee Bob Morosky?
Just happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and thanks a bunch to everybody that showed up and participated in our tree lighting last night.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We have waited, you guys have waited through an extremely long meeting tonight.
Real quick, I just got one little thing. Well, congrats to Darren first for taking on Nest. He's always done a great job representing the village and being part of that. Happy Thanksgiving. Veterans Day was great. The banners look awesome up there. If you still have a veteran that you need to represent, please contact me for the next cycle. And I will be finishing the Tree City USA application tonight after this meeting. So we're on track for that.
Your turn, sir.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving for everybody.
Thank you.
You know, the wonderful meeting, I learned so many things today, and
I'm sorry,
now I
what's that
learned.
Name?
I'm sorry, I just want to say, are
just
there
want-
any public concerns and comments that we're following the agenda?
He just wants to open that.
Yeah.
Oh, we already opened it?
Well, yeah, because I cut out Andrew, so
I'm
I went
sorry.
directly to the two guys that have been sitting here for an hour and 30 minutes.
Go ahead, I just wanted to make sure.
Very,
Sorry.
very long night.
No, just, you know, today I learned a lot of things because I never have an idea how the city operating. I learned today, this is like the Depew and Lancaster family, like you are operating the whole city systems. So many things I learned today. You know, I was very passionate. I said, what? But thank you so much. You are wonderful job. And I just came for today to extension little bit time for my regarding house 47 Main Street. Is the major construction going on and the winter heat, very cold now. We are doing the foundation issue right now. So there is a sump pump issue, I think is expired this month. So please, I request to you guys to give me another 6 months because weather slowly, you know, doing bad. So I'll try my best to finish in between that time. So that's my request to extension of the time.
Don, you just guide us whatever we need to do there.
Yeah, they are doing an extensive amount of work. We're all aware of 47 Main Street. And there's really, unless that's repaired, there's no reason to go forward with the sub pump issues anyways. So I recommend.
You're recommending an
Yeah,
extension?
6-month extension.
Okay.
So they can get the majority of the big work out of the way and then we'll worry about it.
Isn't it from Don?
mostly
Or
from-
planning board? Is that from us?
No,
I don't think that comes
what are you
from
asking
us.
for the,
Extension for the.
did they pull a waiver?
They
That's
put a
what you're-
$1,500 waiver.
They pulled a
yes.
waiver?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I should have.
Yeah, that's,
It's the waiver, we normally, after 90 days, they forfeit the
They forfeit.
$1,500.
Okay,
And
so
But
is
it's
there,
not from a lack of them
need a
trying
motion
to
you
do
can
it.
just
No.
make,
normally it'll just, we'll ask the board and you'll let it.
yeah. I don't think we need a resolution,
Look,
that's
you're,
fine.
you're been working over there. I've seen the dumpster over there. I've seen the bags of concrete. I know there's things going on over there, so from my point of view, I don't see any reason why we would not offer an extension. Let them keep working on what they're doing.
Thank you.
I think that's fine. If we realize we need a resolution, we'll just throw it on next meeting.
Thank you so much.
When does it end? November or
8th, December 8th.
December 8th, the next meeting?
Yes.
So we can get it
I just
official.
asked them to come the meeting before in case something happens,
Right.
snowstorm, something like that, and we cancel a meeting, and then he's out $1,500. I'd hate to see
Gotcha. Right, so it'll officially be on for the 8th then? Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
that'll work, that's fine. Want to do a resolution?
Sound good?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you, take care.
All right. One of our long ones. Yeah. Down to the finish. Number 16, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Nope, claims and accounts.
Now.
The claims and accounts have been audited by the Finance Committee and are approved for payment as follows.
From the general fund, $1,756,095.52. Community development, $51,295.50. Sewer fund, $12,824.05. Capital projects, $13,739.50. For a total of $1,833,954.57.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Now, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion that we adjourn this evening's meeting at 8:41 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And 8:41.